I'm Julie.
And I'm Des.
And we're the Gals. Real life, real talk from real women.
So grab your coffee
and let's chat.
Welcome to the Gals podcast.
Oh, hey.
Oh, hey, girl, hey.
Happy day to you.
Oh, happy day. We're singing that song.
We are singing that
this
song.
Weekend.
I don't think we need to introduce ourselves anymore.
Nah.
I think they know who we are.
Yeah.
If you're here, you know our names.
Yes. You know all about us now because we did 2 podcasts. Get to know Julie, get to know Des. So we should
filling
be quizzing
everybody
them now.
in.
Yeah.
Oh, good idea.
We should do that.
We're going to start pop quizzing you.
Yeah. On social media. So beware.
And we'll let you win a hug from Des only.
Because we don't have any merch
But
yet.
I'll high five you.
Yeah, that sounds good. No hugging, though.
No,
you don't get
that's
any
what I'm
hugs
saying.
from
You
Julie.
only hugs from you, high fives from me.
Absolutely.
Period. So we wanted to give you guys, speaking of last week, just an update on what we're doing, how's it going, what our game plan is, and then we're going to dive deep.
Mm-hmm. We got a lot of questions.
We did.
From a non-believer, which is awesome.
Yes.
But she's a non-believer, right?
That's correct.
She could be our producer.
I believe she can.
We would
shout out to Carolyn for
Yes.
real.
Thank you, Carolyn.
She has a lot of really good ideas. We're trying to suck her in to be our producer. I think she'd be great.
Yeah, I think so too. Those are really good questions. So I'm
There are
excited
some
to
really
dive
good.
into
Me
that.
too.
So
Me too. So what do you think?
recap
Give
the
us a recap of some things.
Well, we went to the strange exotic place of Bronxville.
Yes, we did.
New York, where we actually went through the Bronx.
That was fun and scary.
Yes. So my anxiety was pretty high going through that Bronx there.
It was the driving.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we were in that crazy church van, and every single bump that we went over, like I almost hit my head on the top of the car. So
yeah, and also
not
while
fun.
we were traveling, we did practice in the church van.
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
the guitar was out. We were singing. It was interesting, but we did do it.
we did it, and I never realized how hard it was to play guitar in a van.
Yeah,
Like I
and
always
singing,
see
you're like,
people on tour buses. I had no control of my voice. I had no control of my chords or playing. It was like I never sang and played before in my life.
Yeah, it was so. But we did it.
We did it.
So that's important.
And so we drove through the Bronx. That was fun. And then we did our sound check. It was a really beautiful church. I don't remember what kind it was. Lutheran, maybe. When we got there, they had no clue who we were or who we were looking for. We were trying to look for this guy named Charlie.
Yes.
We kept asking, do you know Charlie? Charlie. It reminded me of that scene from Forrest Gump. Have you ever seen Forrest Gump where
Yes.
Forrest had no idea who Charlie was, and they're going through the woods in Vietnam, and he's like, yeah, we're looking for this guy named Charlie.
Ooh, we should have just approached it that way. Should have just gone straight to Forrest Gump. Instead, we were like, are you Charlie?
Are you Charlie? Yeah.
Oh, are you?
Nobody
but the
knew.
show went really well.
Yeah.
It was our very first time as a duo
Yes.
singing out.
And we didn't plan it to be that way. I actually just invited you, Julie, to come because I had a lot of time to fill. And when you're a solo artist with just a guitar singing for 2 45-minute sets, and I don't consider myself a really great guitar player, it can get really boring really fast for the artist and for the audience. Like you wear them out. So I felt like bringing you in would just add a dynamic. Plus you have the blonde hair, so it kind of offsets my brown hair. And we look good together. So
That's true.
but it was really magical.
It was. I think I never wanted to. I didn't want to impose on your stuff, which is a thing I've been struggling with this week. Honestly, really? Yeah. Just like I don't want to impose or anything like that. But I think that all in all, I'm not sure what's happening over there, so you can cut this
I was
out.
just making sure my microphone was still working because I couldn't hear myself.
I was worried
anymore.
about you for a second. But all in all, I feel like there was magical music moments. And I know that sounds cheesy, but something insanely anointed, I think, occurred at this little tiny gig that we played.
Tiny.
Very
tiny.
But it didn't matter. I mean, I think that they felt loved and seen and heard, and that they knew what we were about. And I think all in all, it was glorifying no matter what.
Totally. Absolutely. I felt the same way. And I didn't really realize how, I hate to use the word magical. Okay. So people, let's use that term loosely.
Yes. Not magic.
No.
But I like to say there's like a feeling
anointing.
and an anointing and a special moment.
Yes. Special moment.
Yeah.
Love that. And I think I didn't realize how special it was going to be until other people saw it. Like Charlie, when we actually found Charlie.
Which we did.
He was running the event, and afterwards, he was just like, I can't believe we witnessed such a beautiful beginning.
Yeah.
And he was in awe of what had just happened, like between you and I, and the things that we were saying in between, and how we played off of each other, and we were funny, and I think we were funny.
I think we were funny.
I think we're funny.
I was just going to say, I think that we're funny. But it was good. It was good.
We told a lot of good stories. We shared from our heart, and you shared a lot about your daughter, Tori, and I think we spoke into their lives. And even my manager, Mike, who manages my career, saw something really special. And I thought that he was going to be like, oh no, you're leaving me, Des, to do this duo. But he was not like that. He was like, Des, don't mess this up.
I was just going to say, he quote unquote said to the both of us, don't mess this up.
And he was serious. I thought he was kidding.
I thought he was gonna laugh or like make fun of us in a way, because I couldn't tell what the vibe was.
Yeah,
but then
he's hard to read
when he said there is something very special here, and I think something really great could come from this. And I'm like, he's gonna say something funny any moment. And then he was like, don't mess this up. And I was like, whoa. Like, I felt the weight of his words.
Yeah. I was sitting in the back of the van, like, waiting to laugh. I'm like, are you kidding, Mike? Like, how could I mess it up? And he's like, yeah, don't mess it up. And, but it was just really cool to hear that. And then my husband, Steve, was just, like, in awe as well. I mean, he loves you, Julie. So, obviously, I think he already saw something between us before we even saw it. So, yeah. I don't know what else to say about that.
It was a blessing.
We went out to dinner.
We did go out to dinner.
That was interesting. Poor Julie did not have a good time.
It's fine. I had a rough time with dinner. I had a rough time with Starbucks. It was just one of those days. It wasn't going for me, but everything else fell into place.
Everything was going great for me. I loved my beet salad and my Starbucks drink.
Everything for you was really up there.
Yeah.
But after that, I think our week has been good. We had our 4th podcast launch.
Yes.
And we also started a Facebook, which we have 100 likes. So for those of you that like it, thank you so much. Seriously, we felt really loved. In about 24 hours, we have 100 likes. And people are really listening and feeling connected to us. And that was our goal from the start of this, is that we wanted to be your friend no matter where you are. And I think that is what's happening here. And so I'm grateful for that. And that's what we're accomplishing, which is awesome.
Absolutely. I think for me, listening to podcasts is always like having somebody in the background, like, or having a friend talking in the background and listening and not feeling so alone.
Yeah.
That's what I love about podcasts.
Me too.
And so I hope we're doing that for other people, like being a friend for them while they're lonely at home or in their car for 3 hours. You know, lots of podcasts now to listen to. We got almost 5 episodes worth. So
yeah, I think it's been really great. So we have some ideas coming up. Next week is our Halloween party.
Yes, hot button topic.
It's hot button topic, y'all. And it's going to be next week, so get ready for that. Be excited. But this week, we're going to dive in to some questions that Carolyn suggested that we talk about, and I think they're really important and relevant to our society, to people our age that I think are looking for some answers. And I think that there's a lot of good things to talk about.
So what, before we get started, what kind of was the catalyst for her to ask these questions? Was it from our last podcast?
Yeah. So she told me that she likes our podcast a lot and she thinks that we're funny. And then she also had said, you know, it's interesting to hear the perspective from religious women.
Okay.
And she uses the word religious because I get it. That's how she views it. And that makes sense and totally understand. And so I said to her, is there anything that you wish you could hear us talk about, like from our perspective? And she said, actually, I would really like to know what you guys would tell someone who isn't religious at all. And where do they go? Who do they talk to if they're interested into learning about God? Or what church do they go to? Will they be accepted there? How would they pray? Does God listen to them? All of these questions. So we're going to kind of go over that and answer,
Absolutely. I'm
freely.
excited.
Me too. I think there's a lot of good stuff that people need to know from here.
Yeah, I love hearing from the heart of unbelievers, what their perspective is on the church and what questions they have, because they're searching. And I think we need to, like we said last podcast, not judge them, but listen to them, answer their questions the best we can, and hopefully they'll see Christ and all of that. So,
yeah. And I think before we dive into this too, I just want to say that we had talked about this last week, but when you aren't a believer, which we love you, there is a hole that you try to fill with things, and there's a hope that you're missing. And so we just want to teach you about that hope today as we go into this. Yeah?
Let's do it.
So first thing she said was, people who aren't religious. Oh my gosh.
Relishness.
It's a relish on the hot dog. I can't today. Every single podcast, I say something completely wrong. I can't speak anymore.
You're fired.
Let's rewind. People who aren't religious and they don't pray. How does it work? How do they pray? Where do they start? So, she had asked me this question because she has someone in her life that is sick and has cancer, and it came back. Okay. This is a couple weeks ago.
So she's dealing with maybe some doubt about God's goodness, or just how do you pray for something like that?
And
okay.
So she had asked me to pray for him. Of course, I said yes. And then I encouraged her to pray too, just to start a dialogue. And I explained to her that talking to God doesn't have to be these holy words or this Christianese words or in a place of worship or in a church. You can talk to God when you're driving. You can talk to God when you're putting your makeup on. You can talk to God when you're just doing the dishes or doing laundry. It doesn't have to be this huge thing. I told her to be like, hey God, my friend's sick and this really sucks. And I'm sad and I'm angry and I don't understand why, but I'm asking if you would please heal him. That's it.
That's perfect.
So my encouragement was her to just say that. I mean, obviously I was praying for him too, but when you want to start talking to God, it's such a weird sentence to say. It's just like talking.
Exactly.
It's just a conversation. Hey, God, what's up?
It's nothing,
my day stinks.
Like you said. Yeah, it's nothing grandiose. You have to use certain words, and I think the Lord doesn't like that. Like, just speak your words in your language.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, He already knows what you're going through. He already knows what hang-ups you have. He's not surprised. He's not surprised if you yell at Him or if you scream at Him or if you say whatever. He's not surprised. He knows you. He loves you. He gets you. And honesty and being real is freeing in that prayer. Like, it's freeing for me to be like, God, I have anxiety today and I'm tired. I'm tired of living like this. I'm exhausted from it and I surrender it. And then 5 minutes later, I got to do the same thing because that's how it goes. But you just have to talk.
Yeah, it's that simple.
Hey.
It's that simple.
Thanks. Thank you that I woke up this morning. Doesn't have to be this long drawn out prayer.
Yeah, it doesn't matter your posture either. I mean, getting on your knees, I think, is... it definitely shows a surrender, and I think there's a reverence there. But anyway, I think the posture of your heart, no matter where you're at, I don't know where I'm going with that.
I
but
really
anyway,
like that word.
Yeah, the posture of your heart. You know, you don't have to be on your knees. You don't have to be folding your hands or even closing your eyes. I love to pray in the car. Obviously, you can't close your eyes when you're driving.
Thank goodness that you don't.
Don't do that. Don't text and drive either.
For real, though.
But, yeah, just being honest and wherever you're at.
Coming to God, no matter when you do, it doesn't matter. He doesn't look at you and say, oh, you haven't talked to me in 20 years. Or you said last week that you didn't believe in me. That is not how God works. God has a love and a grace, and He is looking for you to come to Him. That's it. He loves you. So it doesn't matter if you're 78 years old and you've never once prayed or even acknowledged